Alright, what I want to do right here in this video is kind of give you an idea how I set, a little bit of an idea how I set some stuff up. I can't find my leg where I had pulled these dowel rods out. So I have a leg there, I pulled the dowel rods out, then I just had holes. What I did with the holes is I put it on the drill press, lined it up so that the drill would go in this hole, that it just fit down in there, it was loose, didn't have to, wasn't going to one side or the other. And of course this was flat. Then what I did was, once I had that set up and the table, I have a vise on the drill press. Not only can you move the table on the drill press up or down and in a circular motion, but I have a vise on there that moves left and right and forward and backward. So, you have an infinite adjustment on it. So once I set this up, adjusted the drill so that the drill press so that it would drill directly down into this hole, and I had a jig set up, so that when I went to this leg, it would sit in the jig. Of course, when I cut that, this would sit in the jig so that drill, the drill press, the drill bit was right over the hole I needed to drill. And I set it, of course, when I pulled these pegs out of the other leg, I measured the depth, and the drill press, has an adjustment so that it would stop it at a certain depth. So I set the depth, and I started on the first peg, and once I set that up, of course I could drill all my legs, drill the first hole for all my legs. Now before I drilled the holes, I didn't cut it first. When I drilled the holes, let's see if I can put this back together here. So when I drilled the first holes, this wood was actually uncut, and that made it easier to line it all up, in the drill press. And as you can see, I've got, this is from another piece of wood. This is just junk or whatever. And then once I got the holes drilled, then I went ahead and cut the actual leg out. Okay, that made it much easier to position in the drill press as a square block of wood than it would have been as the leg. Okay, let's see if I can get over here to I got a mess going on here because I got several different projects going on, and kind of dark and rainy outside, so having a hard time getting any light. For some reason the light's not working real well over here, but I think you can possibly see what I'm talking about. This vise, I can move it left and right, forward and backward, and also the table rotates. So as you can see, I still have a drill bit in here. So, and you can see right there is the adjustment. It's just a inexpensive floor drill, and it goes down a certain depth. So once I set that square piece of wood in there, I slide it up. I have a certain, like maybe right up to the end of here, whatever your jig is, whatever your markings are, and I just slide one up in there, and it's already preset. Drill it out, pop it out, put another one in there, and drill it, and then I just move on to the next, to the next hole. But anyway, you can see that this, one thing you want to get if you're going to do any kind of fabrication and stuff, even a cheap Harbor Freight vise like this is great. It's not real precise or anything. It's not necessarily for milling, but it's good for just doing all kinds of stuff. Let's see if I can get back over to here without running over my cord. Okay. Alright, and but that's how I did the drilling here, and it was all just, every time I wanted to, when I went to drill the next hole, all I did was set this hat, imagine these are gone because the other piece of wood, I can't find it now, but it's around here somewhere. But when I went to set up the next hole, I just set it up on the drill press so that, you know, when the drill bit came down, it was right in this location at the right depth, and the same for the, and then, you know, of course I had this as a square piece of wood was in there, so. And none of it's real, you know, precise, and I didn't worry about getting all this cut real precise, because this is not like a professional restoration. And you really aren't going to see, these are legs, and so you're not really going to see much of them except the front. The only thing, you know, this, when it's sanded, looks, you know, pretty even, but I guess if I were going to do it, you know, 100%, I would probably take something like a router and router out the center just behind the what's that called, the veneer, and then I would lay in some, you know, maybe some veneer of oak, you know, so that it would look like that. But once this is sanded, it's pretty pretty clear, so I don't think anybody, this is all going to be underneath, you know, and I don't think anybody's really going to notice. Most people don't notice those kind of things, you know, but I mean, there will be somebody who eventually will, whether they say anything or not, will notice that this is actually the cut end, you know, the open end of some wood that's been glued together. But it looks pretty even once it's sanded, and it's not something that you would notice right away. So, so what I'm hoping is I went with oak because since the leg sits out like this, like I said in the other video, I figured there was going to be a lot of stress right here, and I was just afraid that if I went with pine, it might, you know, I've got the stereo console, the weight of that, and I've got another tube stereo that I'm actually putting in the center of it, and that thing weighs about 30, I think it was 37 pounds, so that's a lot of weight, you know, to be put on each of these joints. So I just wanted to make sure these, you know, you want to get you one of these right here. And of course, stuff like this, if you're going to mess with wood or metal, you know, this stuff, you can change these out for metal pads and, you know, and plastic and whatever. You know, you can do a lot with these, you know, just this kind of stuff. But I like to make a lot of stuff, and especially, you know, it can be real relaxing, keeps you from going crazy. Okay, but that's basically, you know, just not really very informative. You can see right there, I don't know what happened. That was a test. But that's how I do the, you know, did the dowel holes, and they don't really have to, as long as they generally line up and I can hammer them together. You know, of course, if they don't really want to go together that good, there's always, you know, grinding on the little pegs or whatever to make it move around how I want it if it's that bad. But there's always a way to get around stuff. But this is not, you know, unfortunately, you know, finished carpentry tools are very expensive, and you know, but it can be done, and it can be done really nice with just regular contractor tools. But you know, my philosophy is I work on, you know, this is to relax and a hobby, so I work on it when I feel like it. If I work on it 2 minutes and feel like, you know, I've had enough, then that's it. You know, I'm done for that time. But and I try not to let myself get into the, you know, this is supposed to be fun, so I don't let myself get into the mindset of I got to get it done, I got to get this done, because then that kind of takes the fun away. All right, but you know, this is just a regular old table saw, and you know, you'd be surprised what you can do. But I guess that's it. Not a very good video, but that's how far I am on the leg anyway.